All right, 9 o'clock. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast. I am your host, Charles Watson. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Let me turn off that YouTube music before they hit me with like a copyright violation. And oh, I lost my camera. Anyway, good morning, guys. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. We had a great time at Universal Studios. Thank you so much to our friend for hooking us up there. You know who you are. We got a great video coming. We shot a tour, so that'll be awesome. Can't wait to share that with you guys. It should be dropping this afternoon sometime. Good morning, Travis. Today on today's show and today's topic, we are going to be talking about building your story brand. Good morning, Tracy. Thank you for joining in. Happy Sunday. Hey, Tracy, my thoughts are with you. So I hope you have a great day today, for real. But today we're going to be talking about building your story brand. Everything is coming out of the, excuse me, the book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I have a link to the book there in the show notes. And just check out the show notes. That helps support us, helps support Dishes and Stitches, helps support our channel. And there's a lot of good information down there. So this is the book. I actually picked up the audio book. And it's really good. If you haven't joined Audible yet, do so. It's great to listen to books while you're at work. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, Lena. Welcome. So building story brand, I have some notes here. And earlier in the week, I reached out and I asked a question to the community. If there's one thing you could work on in growing your brand, growing your business, growing your arts, your crafts, your wine business. But I'm friends with everyone from walk of life. And I think the number one thing all creators are looking for is they believe in their message passionately. They have a message. They believe that their message needs to reach the world because every single person in the world has to hear how awesome and how great their message is. And I don't discourage that. Justin, good morning. I definitely feel that as a creator, as a business owner, as a creator, as a creative person, we all feel like our work matters. Otherwise, why are we doing it, right? I mean, we all like to feel that our work matters. I feel like everyone on the planet can benefit from the information or the creativity that we are producing. And you're right. But building a story brand really, and this is going to be kind of like an ego crusher for people. Robert, good morning. Jordan, again, good morning. And I hate to say this, but Donald Miller really breaks up in his book about marketing and reaching your target audience into writing and creating an epic story, a journey for your audience to follow you down. That's also community building. People are stronger when you build a community of like-minded people that support each other, that share each other's work. You reach that success quicker when you have community support than when you're just marching out there alone. So the number one principle, the number one fact, I'm going to share with you 5 principles from the book that I found very informative and very helpful. And it just kind of changed the whole way I look at our brand now. Number one is you are not the hero of your brand. And I know that that's crushing, and I know that that's devastating. Charity, good morning. But your business, your artwork, your cosplay commissions, we're talking about business here. You are not the hero. Your target audience is, and everyone wants to feel like the hero. Going back to everyone feels like their mission and their statement and their work has to reach the entire world. I get that, and I understand that, but you are not the hero of your own brand, your target audiences. And like every hero needs a couple things to complete their quest, to complete their journey. And you really need to look at your work. You really need to look at your podcasts. Michael, good morning. You really need to look at everything you're creating that you want to reach people, that you really need to reach out and put their needs first. That's why we always tout, we always say in our thing, you know, that the quickest way to grow your brand is to solve people's problems, to offer a solution. And so that goes into our second point is people want to connect with people that will help them solve a problem, that can guide them through the trials of life, that can guide them through the trials. Think of how to change a tire. If you don't know how to change a tire, you don't want to be told in that moment, I can't believe you're so stupid. You can't change a tire. What's wrong with you? Every person needs to change a tire. These are basic life skills. Like that's not positive. That's not producing a positive community. That's not producing a positive influence in someone's life. But Mr. Snape, good morning. I visited the castle yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. Had a great time. But yes, so in a time of urgency and things like that, someone is looking for help. They're looking for a guide. So don't be Luke, be Yoda. As a brand, as a business, as someone who is offering services to the general public and depending on the general public, you need to be Yoda. You need to be Obi-Wan. You do not need to be Luke Skywalker. I hope that makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to help solve a problem, and you want to keep it simple. You want to keep your message simple. So let's do Dr. Cutter. So Dr. Cutter helps people, and Dr. Cutter provides a service, and he helps people with problems. So it doesn't do him any good if he berates his audience. Sean, good morning. These people have genuine issues. Dr. Cutter wants to set himself up as the guide that can guide him through these tribulations and come out on the other side successful. And you need to start looking at your brand the same way. When someone is looking for you, they are lost, they have a problem, you force ghost show up. What up? I'm here for a problem solving. You're there, right? They find you, and then you guide them through the problem. And then hopefully the end result is that you make a sale, right? The end result is that they buy tickets to your convention. The end result is that they buy that art piece, right, that you commission. They buy that costume that you built, right? They buy that Punisher vest. They buy that helmet, that God Killer Wonder Woman sword that they just need. Their problem is that they don't have it. You supply it. Boom. So if you really step back and think about this whole scenario can be applied to anything. Anything you can apply these principles to. So number 3, and we kind of touched on it just right now, is that every hero and guide needs a villain, right? So you need a villain. So what villain, and a villain is not a person. Please understand that. We are not asking you to vilify a person. We are not asking you to vilify another brand. Hey, my stuff is way better than this stuff. My building is way better than so-and-so's building. They build cheap stuff. I build quality. That's not the villain that we're talking about. The villain is the issue. You have a Wonder Woman cosplayer. She needs a shield. The lack of the shield is the villain. You understand? You are the guide. Hey, I hear you need a shield. I so happen to 3D print. I can 3D print a shield. Now you've engaged, you've shown up as the mentor, and now you guide them from the process. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, how big do you need the shield? What do you want it made out of? How do you want it finished? What time frame do you need it? And what price point are you willing to pay for my guidance? That is the villain, not a person, not a competitor, not a competing brand. Okay? Yeah, I think everyone's villain is money flow. That's true. Mine too. So So once you have your villain set up, right? So we're putting everything together through a story. We're equating our brand. We're equating our business through a story. Then it's time for the montage, right? Remember the South Park commercial episode where, what is it? They're training or something like that. And that song comes on, you need a montage, you know, like you need to provide a montage. Your product has to be the montage. And that is the user familiarizing themselves with your brand. So if you have a wine bar, right? The problem is somebody likes, you have a hero, they like wine. The problem is they don't know where a cool, hip, comfortable, sweet wine bar is. You show up as the mentor. Hey, I know where there's a wine bar. It's in Melbourne, in a mall. The hero shows up at the destination, and then that's the montage, right? The hero going from their house, finding, interacting with you, traveling to their destination, showing up at your place, montage over. And then the fifth part is you cast a vision for a better future, right? So what's that wine drinker's better future? The wine drinker's better future is that they found your bar, they're sitting down in a comfy chair, and they got their glass of Chardonnay, and they feel satisfied. And that's a wine business. We just made that analogy with a wine business. Imagine what you could do. It works if you're a podcast. Again, anything. You just take that storybook framework, right? And you insert these 5 characteristics, and now you're actually building meaning. You're actually building purpose. You're actually building deep connections with your audience. People buy and people check out and people support people that they trust and people that they respect. So I hope you saw that. That's 5 principles, and I hope that you guys found some value in that. I really hope you do. Let me know if you did in the show notes. I appreciate it. So earlier in the week, I asked for some feedback. I asked for some questions. I asked 3 questions. What would you like to know that could help you monetize and grow your brand quicker? And so I picked 3. I had some great feedback. I also had some topics for some future videos that I'll be doing. I really appreciate that. But I have 3 Q&As. So I'll do a little Q&A here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up. So Chris Gaz, who's a friend of mine and a convention promoter, he asked, how do you generate market feedback in your target demographic without breaking the bank? And this is awesome, and I believe this works right into it. And I'll give a couple other things. Building that story brand. I think that if you build an epic story for your brand, if you offer guidance and you genuinely try to offer help to your community and build a community about building each other up and gapping bridges and learning skill sets together, I think that your audience is going to communicate with you directly. They're going to give you all the feedback you need. Another great thing to do is what I do is run a poll on your Facebook page, on your social media pages. Ask an engaging question. That's how I come up with the topics for the podcast. I'll ask questions throughout the week on my Facebook page, and then I read every single comment. And I try to respond to every single comment, but after about 40, 50 comments, it gets tedious. But I try to respond to as many as I can. And you guys, the community, is what's given me feedback, and I know the direction that I got to go. And I haven't spent a dime on market research in our niche or our community because I come right to the source. I don't have any third party interrupting me. I have direct feedback with my community, and in doing so, we're growing relationships and we're growing bonds, and that's why we have people watching this morning. So these are obviously everyone watching is invested in me, and obviously I am invested in you guys because I'm here every Sunday. So there we go. Direct marketing feedback by building your communities and interacting and actually responding to everyone. There's a big trend in social media that I've noticed, especially with cosplayers and big things. They don't talk to anyone. It's on the way up, they talk and they're friendly and their pictures and stuff like that. But then once they make it, they totally shut off communication. They just don't talk to anyone at all. Hey, I loved your costume. How'd you do it? Cricket, cricket, cricket. You know, and that's a terrible trend because you forget the people that helped propel you to success. You forget the people that helped support you and push you along the way. So I always think that it's very important to respond. After this podcast, I'll go back and I'll like all the comments. And if something is noteworthy, I'll comment on it. So always keep those channels of communication open. So thank you, Chris, for that question. And I hope that that answers it. I really, really appreciate it. Heather Andrews asks, how do I get people to support you and your brand? And this is awesome. This is a great question. I think this entire video kind of lays that out for you. I want to share a quote with you from the great Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, teddy bear. And he says, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And that is incredibly true. You know, super true. Nobody cares how much you know until you know how much you care. And I see people sometimes they get upset. Oh, the camera's over here. Sorry, I was looking. My bad. I see people get upset. They'll do collaborations. They'll work with other people. They will share other people's work. They'll buy other people's art pieces. They'll help advertise people. And then they get upset that the other person didn't reciprocate that share or that like or boost them like you did them. They get mad. And I mean, you know, if you want to receive, first you have to give. You share someone else's, reach out to the people that you look up to. You know, if you really want to do it and you really want people to support you, then you have to support people first. No one is going to invest in you if there's nothing to invest in. Yeah, I mean, people got their own problems. They got bills to pay. They got mouths to feed. Their, you know, work stress, groceries, running errands. The days go quick. The days go quick, and you can't expect someone to take precious time. The most important commodity we have is time, and you can't expect people to take precious time and support you if you do nothing for them. That's what this whole premise, this whole podcast, the building a story brand is about. It's the realization that you are not the hero of your story. You're just not. Everyone else is. So I think that that's a great way to get people to support you. Just this whole thing, everything that we've been talking about, reach out, build deep, meaning, lasting relationships. And then you'll see that people in turn will turn around and support you to no end. I mean, we're seeing it now, Dishes and Stitches, 3 months, and we are now generating that support. We have a great community. We have videos, constant, consistent videos. I think we're up to like 31. We're trying to help people as much as we can. And just now it's starting to pay off. We can see it through our Amazon affiliates. We could see it through our brand deals. Like, this is actual support that is turning into a tool, money, that we can use to keep doing stuff like this for you guys. So think about that, just some stuff. And then the third question comes from Dennis Cutter. And he says, how do you reach a bigger audience without offending the PC crowd? I'm going to, first of all, that's a good question, because it seems like everyone these days is offended. Everyone is offended by everything. I'm offended that I'm offended right now, that I'm even talking about being offended. Are you offended? I am. Let's all be offended together. So I think we gotta look past the offended goggles, you know what I mean? The offended lens. And I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes controversy, polarizing views grows your audience even more, faster and more passionate and more loyal. Nobody likes to be controversial. And please, I'm not telling anybody go out there and stir the pot and kick the hornet's nest. I'm definitely not saying anything like that. But stick to your guns, stick to your convictions. If your convictions run deep and you are sharing a message, it takes a lot of courage to get up here and do this podcast every Sunday. But I believe in my message. I have a conviction that my message can help others because it's helped me. Like, we're doing this. Everything that I've been talking about and we've been doing over the last 3 months, we are doing it and it's working. And we are super excited that it is working. And we can't believe that our community doesn't know about this. Like, no one in our community is teaching anyone how to do this stuff. They just assume that everyone knows how to do it. You know, they just assume. And no one is taking the time. So we are convicted in our message to help others. And that's polarizing. Some people might disagree with us. Oh, you shouldn't be giving away the secrets. You shouldn't be telling people how to do it. Don't ever be afraid of giving away trade secrets. Don't ever be afraid of telling people what you do, how you do it, and why you're passionate about doing it. It's not competition. There's only one you. No one else does things the way you do. If anything, you can learn from each other. I've reached out to other podcasters. I have people that have been podcasting for years. I have YouTubers reaching out to us, giving us advice all the time. I am always seeking advice. I am reading book after book from people that have come before me and laid out the plan, because, I mean, we all want the quickest way possible to our destination, right? Like, if you're going to go cross country, you're going to take a plane. Why? Because it's the fastest. You're not going to take a car. You might if you love road trips, but you're going to plan for that. You know what I mean? We want to get to where we want to get to, and we want to get to our destination the quickest way possible. And the only way to do that is to immerse yourself and educate yourself and follow in the footsteps of the people that have done it before you. So, Dennis, I would agree. I would say that polarizing views are actually healthy, and don't worry about offending people. Stick to your convictions. Stick to your desires. Yeah, and Sean's right. Always keep your politics to yourself when doing your thing, and that's true. Always keep it to yourself, and but help as much as possible in the community. All right, well, that wraps up this Sunday's Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast, building your story brand and how to build deep connections with your supporters and your community. Remember, you are not the hero, right? You are. Let's recap. Number one, you are not the hero of your brand, your target audiences. Number two, you want to appear to be a guide. You are not Luke Skywalker. You want to be Yoda or Obi-Wan Kenobi, the guide. They're cooler anyway, honestly. Luke's a little whiny. Come on. I mean, you know, who loses a hand? Who loses a hand? Number three, every hero needs a villain. Every hero needs a villain. So you need to know what problem will your product, what problem will your brand, what problem will your store help your hero solve. Number four, be a montage. You got to interact with them. You got to show them how to get there. You got to show them how to buy the product. You got to instill value. You got to bring value to their life. They need a transformation. And number five, you have to cast a better future for your hero, and you have to let them know why when they purchase your product, their problems will go away and their enjoyment, their pleasure, and their satisfaction will increase. Well, guys, I really appreciate it. If you like my podcast, I've had a couple people ask me if they were available on iTunes or Google Play. As of right now, this is a Facebook exclusive deal. I am only doing one live podcast a week on Sunday on Facebook Live. It is by design right now. I know that there are other options out there, but it is by design right now. And don't forget to check out the show notes. I've got the list of all the books that I've been reading for Sunday morning podcasts. I also have a link there to our new and improved Passion into Income 2.0. It's a 45-minute training. It's only $19.99, $20, but it kind of goes in depth. I promise you, if you give 45 minutes of your time from the time you hit play to the very end, you will have what it takes and have an idea to script, produce, shoot, and upload your first money-making video, to YouTube, and also to Facebook and LinkedIn. It works on all three. We do all three. The results have been great. You guys can do it too. Please check that out. And don't forget, we drop new videos on Dishes and Stitches every Wednesday and Sunday. So today's video day. So we hope that you check out our Universal Tour video later today. And thank you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk soon.